Hey, what's up, everyone, and welcome back to this session on productivity tips. Next, we're going to talk about productivity tips and what your environment does and doesn't do for you. So, like we talked earlier, you might go back and watch the video again if you haven't seen it on distractions, multitasking, and the fact that multitasking doesn't happen and how much time you waste doing that, because these things all apply to that. So, you need to remove distractions. As much as you can, get rid of them. You want to get into a place that Mihai Csikszentmihalyi talks about in his book called Flow. And you know you've been there before. It's that state where time just goes away. And sometimes maybe you get like tunnel vision. I'm kind of a nerd in this sense. I do this with spreadsheets. I don't know why. I'm not a coder or developer, and I don't do it with that kind of thing. I guess I probably would if I did that anymore. I used to do that when I was a kid, on my Commodore 64, but that was a long time ago. But like, you get in the zone and time goes away and you get super hyper focused and you forget to eat and you forget to drink and you just like, you're on this one thing. That's where you want to be. And when you get in the zone, it's hard to get out of it and hard to get back in it. So you want to remove distractions as much as possible so that you can stay in it. Now, this next one here about music or background sounds, it really depends on you personally. Some people learn and work better when there's music. Some people don't. So just know yourself. Experiment. Give yourself some timelines and test and measure. Do you work better with music? Do you work better without music? Or particularly look at whether you do better with music with words or without words. So that's one. I can work great with music without words, but as soon as it has words, then I start to think about it. We're a musical theater family around here, so as soon as you put a musical theater thing on, then I not only get caught up in the words, but the story. So I have to have something that's music without words. It can even be, well, probably not musical theater without words because I still get caught up in the story. So, take a look at it. Figure it out for yourself. My wife can do, there's different kinds of work. She can do like entering grades in her grade book. She's a teacher, and doing things like that just with background noise on. And I can do that too. So be cognizant of the type of work you're doing. Is it cognitively demanding work, or is it just mindless repetitive work? If it's mindless repetitive, maybe you can have music. All right, enough on that. Neat and tidy spaces reduce cognitive noise. That's just a truth. They have done studies about this, and when your room is clean and neat, the room that you're in, your stress level actually goes down. So this is a life lesson. Keep your house and your rooms and where you tend to spend your time, keep it clean, keep it neat. It causes less mental strain because every time you see something that's out of place, your brain puts it back in its place and then says it's not in place, and there's this cognitive dissonance that happens. So you just want to avoid that at all costs. So those are the productivity tips I have for you about the environment around you. Now let's talk about routine. Keeping a good routine is key to being a highly productive person. If you really want to know how high achievers work, they have a good routine. Particularly talking about health and mental well-being right now. You need to wake up in the morning and eat a good breakfast. That's all there is to it. You have to get enough sleep. I didn't put sleep on here, but get enough sleep. The average body needs at least 8 hours of sleep. So do that. I know, well, I don't need 8 hours of sleep. Yeah, no, not many people in the world survive on 3 or 4 hours of sleep. I'm sorry, people brag about that a lot. Lots of entrepreneurs say, I get up at, I go to bed at 1 and get up at 4. No, you don't. You may do that once in a while. I do. Once in a great while, I can do that. When I'm traveling, right? If I go speak in a foreign country or something like that, I can go someplace and be off the timing and sleep and all that. But generally, and as a pattern, you want to try to get enough sleep. 8 hours on the dot. There's a great app called Sleepy Time. SLEEP dot. Is it SLEEP? SLEEPYTIMTI.me. Sleepy Time. SLEEPYTIM dot TI.me. Oh no. I'm gonna write it here. SLEEPYTI.me. Sleepy Time. That will give you, based on the average sleep cycle, the REM sleep cycle, when you should be setting your timer to wake up. It can also tell you when you should go to bed if you want to get up at a particular time. So if you want to get up at 5:30 in the morning, that's my routine, then you need to go to bed at X time. It'll tell you how many REM cycles you'll get within there. Cool app. Anyway, so get up in the morning, eat a good breakfast with lots of good protein in it. So, having a good breakfast of 2 donuts and a cup of coffee, not so much. That's lots of carbs and sugar. You want to have breakfast that has solid proteins in it, and yeah. So I tend to eat like a bowl of oatmeal with peanut butter in it, which is kind of weird, but that's what I do. Or a breakfast smoothie of like blueberries and protein powder. So I want to get high protein in the day because that will carry you through much longer than a bunch of carbohydrates. A bowl of cereal and milk, that doesn't carry you through very well. There's some proteins in the milk, a little bit in the cereal maybe, but lots of carbohydrates. So try and stick with the proteins. Drink a full glass of water first thing in the morning, and you should drink several of them during the day. So get online, look at your body weight and age, and find the stats for where you should be. I'm not a physician. I'm not going to tell you how to do that, but most of us drink too little water. So get up in the morning and drink a big old glass of water, even maybe before you do anything else. I usually drink a cup of coffee before I drink my glass of water, but I do drink a glass of water. Next, mental condition. In the morning, first thing, take some time for yourself to breathe, to meditate, to pray, to express gratitude, to focus on things you're grateful for, to visualize the future that you would like to achieve as if it was happening now. This is seriously very, very important and gets neglected or gets poo-pooed by people that, oh, that's no big deal, blah, 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 I do fine. You know what? If you go check out the high achievers that are your idols, that are your avatars that you want to become like, I will virtually guarantee you that all of them have some kind of routine like this, or nearly all of them have some kind of morning routine where they meditate, pray, have some time for gratitude, and do some visualization. So there's a great app called Headspace that's good to help you learn how to meditate, no matter what your background is. It is not a religiously based anything. There are praying applications out there for whatever religion you happen to be. I am a Christian, and so I follow certain beliefs, and prayer is part of my morning routine. My wife does not want to be around me if I haven't had my time in prayer, because my head's not on straight. So I need to get aligned with what is important to me, and you do too. Likewise, gratitude. Take some time, like a minute, set a timer, and think about 3 different things for a minute each. Something that you could be really grateful for if you just stood there and thought about it for a minute. The birth of your children, marrying your spouse, some great event that happened. Maybe it was you met someone that by chance. This was just find the things that you're grateful for. A practice that I have as well is I've set a timer for 9 o'clock p.m. And when that timer goes off, that's my gratitude alarm. And so whoever's with me at that time gets the opportunity to share something that they're grateful for that day. I got this habit from a cousin, and I continue to do it. It's been an amazing process of helping me become more grateful for things in my life, but also blessing the people around me. One of the ones that it's two that I remember really profoundly. I will do this wherever I am. So we were in a hot tub at a condo, and there were probably 20 people in the hot tub at the time, and on the deck my phone went off, and I went, uh-oh, and my kids and everybody looked at me like, oh no, is he gonna do it? And I said, excuse me everyone, to the 20 people who were in the hot tub. And I said, hey, it's 9 o'clock and my gratitude alarm went off, and now you have the opportunity to share something you're grateful for. And everyone did it. They all went around the group, and people were thanking me later for doing it. So don't think it's nuts. It's a little bit nuts, but people appreciate it. The second one was on the night on an election night, a presidential election night. I was in Washington, D.C. I had just given a keynote. I was in Washington, D.C. I didn't have to do with the presidential election, just happened to be at the same place. And people were stressed out and everything, and we were down in the bar hanging out, and my alarm went off, and the 15 or 20 people who were at the table all shared something that they were grateful for. And again, I had people coming up to me later going, thank you. That completely turned the conversation. That was incredible, Joseph. Thank you. So gratitude is amazing. Visualization is so critically important. Olympic athletes use visualization because your body doesn't know the difference between, well, it probably does in some ways, but I've heard that your body doesn't know the difference between doing it and visualizing it. So if you close your eyes and you are actually meditating on something and you clearly can see yourself, it takes a little bit to get to the point where your mind is clear enough to do this. You can clearly see yourself selling to that person, coaching that person, making the deal that you've always wanted, living the life that you always dreamed of having. Whatever it is that is your goal that you're trying to strive for, visualize yourself as having already accomplished that for like a minute, 2 minutes. I usually do 3 different goals for about a minute each. Every morning, I'll think about these 3 different goals and visualize myself. I've already accomplished this. This is what it feels like. This is what it looks like. This is how I feel, how the people around me react. This is, and you visualize that very clearly. It's just like having it. And your attitude will change, and your mind will start attacking the problem, because you've set up a cognitive dissonance in your brain that says, well, if I have this, then what have I done to make that happen? And your brain's going, well, I don't have that, but we just pretended I had it, or visualized I had it. And so it tries to figure out a way to close that gap. And you'll come up with ideas of ways to close that gap just because you've been visualizing it. So give it a shot. It's interesting. Very cool stuff. I'm going to clear this, erase, and on to the next productivity tips. Okay, the Pomodoro Method. This is a cool method. One possible way of doing things. I use this sometimes. I also, like I had said in the other video, I block time, so I'll block out my mornings and just focus on working on things in the mornings. But sometimes I'll use the Pomodoro Method to focus on things in the mornings. So Pomodoro Method is this. Pomodoro is an Italian pasta sauce that's quick. You make it very quick. You don't let the flavors mix and mingle together and like cook down. You eat it basically raw. Not really raw, but you eat it before it's mixed up and cooked down. Pomodoro Method is a 30-minute-ish kind of program. So look, first you identify the next actions that you need to do, the things you want to get done. Remember that list we talked about on the other video? Your list of to-dos for the today? That's what you use to start with. You set a timer, kitchen timer, for 25 minutes. And when the timer goes, you work hard on one of those things for 25 minutes. And when the timer goes off, you take a break. You actually give yourself a break for 5 minutes. Just relax. Maybe take some time to walk around the office or around your house or walk outside. 5 minutes can be a long time, actually. Don't take more than 5 minutes, though, because you'll get all off. Take 5 minutes and then come back, set the timer for 25 minutes, and go again. Every fourth or so cycle, take a little bit longer, 10 to 15 minute break, okay? When you do that, you'll find that you get a lot done, but your brain doesn't get worn out. If you try and just go for hours and hours and hours on one thing, your brain will get really tired, and you won't have the stamina to go for a long period of time. This allows you, the Pomodoro Method allows you to go for a longer period of time and get much more accomplished. So that is it. Those are the productivity tips I have for you in this video. Thank you for joining me today on the Entrepreneur Starter Kit. I look forward to sharing more ideas and thoughts with you in the next video.